Hi everyone! So instead of doing a book recommendation video this week, I decided why don't I paint something? And I just happen to have a few Schleich and Safari LTD animals, as well as CollectA animals that I want to paint. So today we are going to be painting a lion, a Harpy Eagle, a ram, as well as two horses. So let's get into it. So in case if you don't know, I talk a lot about mythology, and the things that I buy I like to make sure are related to mythology. And today, of course, I'm painting a ram, which I decided to paint this ram with gold paint. It's not the most gold ever, but it's gold enough. And I decided that golden fleece on this ram would be perfect because if you don't know, in mythology, in Greek mythology specifically, there is a story of Jason and the golden fleece. I thought it would just be such a great idea to paint this ram to be golden, of course. Only the wool part, obviously. If you are interested in getting a ram, this ram is by Schleich. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. They are a German figurine company, and you could buy their products on their website, but also on Amazon, as well as at stores like Toys R Us, Tractor Supplies Plus, sometimes at Walmart. But yeah, I thought he turned out pretty nice. Next up, I wanted to fix up my Harpy Eagle. I love my Harpy Eagle, but she sadly is not balanced. Like, this eagle cannot stand up straight, it always falls over, so I have to prop it up against another animal usually so it doesn't balance on its tail. But some of the paint was missing from its claws as well as one of the wings, so I just put a little bit of paint on the wing and the talons. But moving on, I managed to pick up a Safari LTD lion. This lion is pretty big, and it is actually from their like vintage era. Like, it's a really old lion, but I still really wanted him. He may not be like the most up to date, but he is pretty cool. And in case you didn't know, lions are pretty popular, I feel like, in a lot of mythology, but lions were used a lot in Rome, in the Colosseum, and like other places as well. Actually, the Romans used the Barbary lion, which sadly is nearly extinct or is extinct in the wild. They used so many of these lions that they basically no longer exist. And I just like to collect lions because it just helps me remember these poor animals. But I thought the mane on this lion was too light, so obviously I had to paint it a little bit darker so it popped out more. I thought the lion turned out pretty good. You know, I'm not like a pro painter, obviously, but I also put some claws on him later on. Moving on, I have two mares. They're technically stallions, I'm pretty sure, from CollectA, but we're just gonna pretend they're not because I really find the story of the mares of Diomedes to be pretty interesting. I've heard people pronounce it different ways, but I try to pronounce it the way that I see the examples online read it out as. But basically, if you don't know the story, the mares are man-eating mares. These horses eat people. They are meat-eating horses. They're not herbivores, pretty much. And the only way to calm them down is if you give them, like, a human. It's a really strange story. But basically, I just wanted some horses that I could put some fake blood on so they would look like actual man-eating horses. I don't want to put too much blood on them, obviously, because I don't want to overdo it. But I think they turned out just fine. In a few of my last videos, I mentioned how I thought it's interesting how a lot of, like, monsters in mythology are women. You know, like Medusa or Lilith, mermaids. Like, I just noticed even, like, harpies are, like, supposed to be, like, stereotypically female. And I just find it so strange how, like, a lot of monsters are meant to be female in the stories. It just makes women look like monsters. But then I realized, like, wait, even the man-eating horses are female. They're mares. Isn't that just so strange? Obviously, there is monsters that are not female, but I just think it's so weird. Like, it's a pattern, you know? But yeah, I thought this would be fun to do. I'm not a professional painter. I don't do, like, Breyer customs and all that, like, really intense type of art. I just like to take figurines, make them more my aesthetic. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe because I usually talk about mythology, animal rights, and books. If you would like to support the channel in other ways, you could check out my Amazon wishlist, PayPal, or Cash App. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!